The entire picture of the rose is when you can smell it and see it.
So Raga Svarupa is like a signature style of a particular form.
And I said a good guru is one who doesn't want to teach, and good student is one who doesn't want to learn. Yaman is like this, and Bageshri is like that.
I think your father was asking us to be the Akshara Purusha, the one who is patiently waiting.
I had faith more to surrender, not to look for it.
I call it Samskarana.
Classical means restrain, and here there is not really a restraint but an understanding of the format and how to be with that format.
Beautiful. Joy Guru.
Jai Guru.
Joy Guru. Guru Kripa Hi Kevalam. At Sanatan Siddhashram, we have initiated a series of conversations. We call them Samadrishti. Idea behind these conversations is to have an opportunity for reflective, contemplative conversations with sadhaks of any path which demands a dedication, sadhana, a lifelong commitment, and which helps us and gives us an opportunity to, if not fully grasp, at least get a glimpse of what goes within the minds and the hearts of the sadhaks who are pursuing their path. It could be the spiritual practice, it could be in the aspects of any vidya as per the Bharatiya Gnana Parampara. It could be kala, it could be arts, any of that which demands a lifelong commitment and which the practitioners of this path have willfully and lovingly dedicated themselves to. Today is one such occasion. We have a wonderful opportunity to have Ustad Bahauddin Dagar with us, and Ustad ji is such an integral part of Sanatan Siddhashram that we have had an opportunity to receive him quite a few times at ashram, but most importantly I fondly recollect and share with as many people that how the genesis of the ashram, when way back in 2017 on 8th June, that's almost 10 years ago if we were to look at, the Bhumi Pujan happened here, and it was Ma Parvati Baul's heartful intention that the beginning of a kshetra which is dedicated for Vidya, Adhyatmika Vidya, should start with the resonance of the Nada. And Ma requested Ustad ji to play Rudra Veena during the Muhurta of Sanatan Siddhashram, and we had all Baul masters from various sampradayas within the Baul stream and many other spiritual practitioners who came here all the way to take part in that consecration ceremony. And Ustad ji played Rudra Veena, and I still remember distinctly, Ustad ji, that June is just like this, humid, hot, yet it was very pleasant early morning. I think we had set up a pandal nearby to our pond, and you were playing more or less in the open field, practically speaking, and still there was a sort of nimitta that we could feel the birds around chirping, and there was no microphone. Veena was resonating at its own pace, ushering in very positive bhava and energy within us, in our hearts. I just wanted to plunge into this conversation. If you by any chance remember any of that, or is there a part of that memory in you?
Yeah, quite vivid actually. I remember playing, and then I also remember the others, Gosais, coming and sitting next to the pond, having their food over there, and then singing for some time before they left. And I also remember that we had finished playing, and the Gosai Babas came and Ma told them that I had played, and then they said, no, but we haven't heard and we want to hear. It was very sweet of them to request me to play again. So I again played for them, and it was, it's quite a blessing to be among such people. And
that is a matter of clarification I wanted to make to the viewers, that here I am sitting only seeking whatever the words that would flow from Ustad Ji for his years of sadhana and tapasya that he has done with the sound, because I am neither technically qualified nor I have in-depth knowledge of the shastra of the music. But nevertheless, just like many of us, I have an experience of an evocation of feelings and emotions when we deeply immerse ourselves in music. So here we are wanting to know more about especially the form of the music, the sound and the sadhana that Ustad Ji holds in his being, that is Dhrupad. And it would be wonderful to have some of your initial remarks about what this tradition is about, Dhrupad. And we know that it is one of the most ancient classical expressions, within the Indian music form. So if you could just give us a bit of a glimpse into that.
so it is about 1,000-year-old tradition, and one belief is that it it came out of the chands which are used in the Samveda. Those meters were used to form a kind of a prabandha, which was a 8-fold system at 8 stanzas, and then it shortened down to the 4 stanzas, which became Dhrupad, and which also had mostly a longer alap attached to it. There is another theory that the chants already prevailed in the tribal system in the India pre-Vedic age, and those were kind of used in the Vedic age, and maybe they were named and they were classified. So Dhrupad by itself is just about 1,000-year-old, and it was earlier practiced in Sanskrit, and then they discovered half notes and half syllables, and to incorporate those things they had to change the language from Sanskrit to Braja Bhasha. And then within Braja Bhasha also they started using single syllables for the alap, which were like Bijakshar, like instead of Hari you use Ri, instead of Narayan you use Na, Ra, Na, Na. So like a fractal which stands for the whole. And because they found this idea of, they rediscovered this idea of the gaze because there were a lot of dialogues between miniature painters, writers, poets and musicians. And I think that's where they discovered the idea of the gaze, and to have a focus on one singular thing like a dhyana, and to expand that and to create a vastness which in Indian music is actually horizontal and not vertical, and to spend time with it and to look at it and go back and look at it, so like a jap, revisiting it again and again, and to create that stillness. So they use single syllables, and that stretch, so you could use those words like Hari had a complete meaning, so they cut it to Ri, where Ri could stand for Hari also, and Ri also could just denote a note or just a movement in the rag. So that abstraction started formatting over there, and then they could Ri plus E plus E. So Hari Om Narayan could become Ri plus E plus Na plus Ra Na Na. And then you could use this separate syllables with just what you called Teek and Chok, 3 notes and 4 notes, and then keep on progressing in an alap. So that stretched the alap, and then that feeling of because they got this from the idea of bhakti, to focus on one thing and to stretch it out and to spend more time with it, and thus expand the raga. So one rag would be played over a period of 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, according to the capacity of what the musician could perceive at that time and what was unfolding. Sometimes they would finish earlier, but usually it was to stretch time and to stretch an imagination and to explore the framework and to see what else, whether that framework could be stretched, and also what else could be incorporated, like a vakra swar or a different thing, and how, in what praman could it be used, because because like any classical, or we would call shastriya more, because classical means restraint, and here there was not really a restraint but an understanding of the format and how to be with that format, because that format became just like a basic structure to rely upon, and then things had to grow from within and make anew themselves with every generation of musicians.
Okay. So, I mean, just trying to catch what you've said and reflect from the point of there is what we call as samskarana. Samskarana is, it can be said process of refinement, but I would rather prefer to say it probably it's more aspect of fine tuning. So you have anything that is handed over to you,
Yes.
and but you have a different motive. In order to use what has been handed over to you for this particular motive, you have to transform that into a space or a form that suits to meet the requirement of this motive.
Exactly.
And I'll give you an example from our own ritual process. So when we light up the fire for the homa, the fire in its, let's say, organic natural state, its purpose is to flame up, incinerate, burn. But now in its natural state it is this, but I have a motive to do homa, that is to have this sacred fire ritual offering in order to make oblations or offerings to the divine, the deity. That is my motive, that is my bhakti motive, let's say. So then therefore I ask the fire, oh fire, please transform yourself into a form that is suitable for this motive. And the mantra is chanted in order to do that. And so this transformation takes place, and then we make the offerings once this. So this is, I call it samskarana in a way, because
It's quite similar. In a way. It's quite similar.
Yeah, especially when I was wanting to go back to your reference to the Samavedic hymns. The Vedic hymns are very vast in its expanse. And they are very invocation of larger forces which are meant for collective well-being, in a larger sense. Whereas in Dhrupad you have said that in order to attain the motive of bhakti, a lot of iterative process went through by taking this chanda from there.
I mean, bhakti was one of the things, because they to bring this stillness in the music and to bring this which has to be apar, sense of which expands and also has no beginning and no end.
Unlimited.
So you had to explore all these options in order to arrive there. In a way, yes, I mean you could that's why I compared it to bhakti, because you focus in a way, but then from there you have to expand, and finally to a point where music just becomes like just sculpting silences, to a point where you don't remember what rag it is, what note it is, and the sounds become very universal.
So it takes, can it be said it takes newer forms in a way?
It takes newer forms.
And its expression.
Yeah, it takes newer forms in its expression, because we have an idea about Indian Shastriya Sangeet being very fixed, but I think that is just a stepping stone. Like you have to rely upon something to begin with, and then once you understood it, you can either expand it or you can discard a few things and you can arrive at few things. Because the moment you fix it totally, it's going to die. It has to be like the pond where new waters all the time coming in. It it evaporates, then again becomes clouds, and then it becomes rains, and again it comes. This is very essential, and especially in the teaching aspect, this is introduced very well, because when you are teaching a student, you have to be aware of how that vessel is and how this thing will contain in that vessel, and there will be changes. So that the changes will keep on happening from generation to generation, but it will be attached to a certain root, and every time the flowers will be new in that manner.
Yeah. So it's like giving out certain principles, but allowing you to maneuver through them.
Yeah.
And
You will have to maneuver, because everybody's swabhav is different.
different.
So that swabhav will recreate something which it will only recreate. It cannot make something new, because it will be from what has been earlier, and then when he says it from his experience and what he has lived through his life, something new will come through that.
It's very interesting what you said, because Swabhav is one's lived experience and expression of that, but it is all Swabhava is also one's own samskaras and personalities.
Yeah.
So a raga is, let's say, given to three different people. One is a very dynamic person with lot of energetic expression, and another one is too tender and subtle in their expression, and how both of them hold the same raga.
Will be exactly different.
And
Personally, I had to also struggle through all this. When you begin, you obviously imitate your guru and do exactly what he's doing, to the point, because I have an instrument, I'm also trying to imitate the tone, and because I think this is the right tone for the veena, and it cannot be anything, because the guru plays it in such a way that you feel this is the only right thing. You keep on chasing that, but then after some time you realize that this is not your sabhav, or when you're playing the instrument, that your weight of your hands is not equal to, or anyway similar to what somebody else is. So you have to find what is the weight of your hand, how the instrument is going to speak. So you do change the javari, you made it lighter or heavier, rounder or thinner, which suits where you can say things with clarity, that you should be able to see the picture very clearly of what you're going to say when you strike the note. Then so it will change with each person like that.
And I think this is such an intimate self-discovery process for a practitioner to arrive at the clarity that though I am inspired by this expression and this tonality, I do not necessarily have the same composition of mind and body for me to create a same expression. Therefore, I need to identify what is my uniqueness and bring about what could come out in my expression uniquely.
Yes,
that's a journey.
Yeah, but the paddhati will be is the parampara. So you will, if somebody uses a certain spoon and a certain vessel, so that will be same. But then how you use it, somebody will use it 90 degrees, somebody will use it 89 degrees, somebody will use it 92 degrees. So that little bit, that will change everything. So it's in a very subtle manner, but it will change.
That can be called, like, for lack of better words, like materiality, right? Something that the material that is handed over will remain same.
Yeah.
In this sphere of music and Sangeeta Vidya, what would be that material in Sampradaya? What is it, like a particular way of rendition of a raga?
Yeah,
or is
it will be there is a certain image of a rag which is independent of the ascending, descending, the vadi note or the samvadi note, and which is called a Raga Svarupa. So Raga Svarupa is like an identity. Like if I'm seeing you sitting next to me, you are hardly 2 feet away, but if Ramji comes from 50 feet away and he's looking like only 2 inches tall, how would I know without looking at the features that this is Ramji? So there is a certain
Raga Svarupa.
Raga Svarupa, that it's called that rag has a particular way in which the knot is tied in the air.
Okay.
Iska hawa mein gaat, they call it. This rag, this Yaman is like this, and Bageshri is like that.
Okay.
So now, but it's not in the air. It's not a knot on a cloth or on a thread. So that knot will have to be visualized from behind your mind, and you start moving in that direction. At the same time, certain way you approach the note, like if you, for a simple thing, if you go to from Ni to Re and Gandhar in Yaman, that Gandhar is one microtone lower of Yaman than the existing Gandhar on the fret. So how you go like this and then you come. When you take this round, so ni re ga, automatically you arrive at that Gandhar. So certain things are like that you say isko you follow this way. So those things are fixed.
That is Raga Svarupa.
That is that when you arrive at that Gandhar in a particular way, then you forget what note it is. And then it gives you like this kind of a feeling. It's like a abstract line you're drawing. Like iska ghat aisa hai, this knot is like this, and then you come at the Gandhar which is over here. Visually you point it somewhere here or wherever you want. And that is a Raga Svarupa, because then you get independent of the notes, you get independent of what the movement is of the rag. And then if you go sa, re, and you want to ga, and then you know that Gandhar is not here, it is over here. So visually you start placing it. That's why you call it a Svarup.
So if I'm just trying to get it, if I understood it right or wrong. So Raga Svarupa is like a signature style of a particular form. Let's say Dhrupad follows, if a particular raga is there, the way of its Svarupa, how it appears, say in Haveli Sangeet or
is different
than Dhrupad.
Is different than Dhrupad.
That is the differentiation.
Yeah, that is one differentiation. That is, you can broadly
say between the traditions.
Yeah. But there is like if you read Abhinav Gupta or if you read Dattilam and all those books, they talk about the rag and they just say that you have to go from Ni to Re and Re to Ga, and then it will sound like the Yaman. And that they have derived a way in which they have written it in a very simple format, which can be taken away by different ways of singing. Like there's a Vishnupur Gharana, there is a Darbhanga Gharana, there is a Dagar Gharana, there is a Talwandi Gharana.
Within Dhrupad.
Within Dhrupad, Betya Gharana. Then there is a Khandarwani in the Khyal, there is the Gwalior Gaiki, there is Agra Gaiki. So everyone will be singing the Yaman. And it's very difficult to explain that, because if I would give an example, there are two students in my house. One practices for 7 to 8 hours and he plays the Yaman every day, but his Yaman doesn't sound like the Yaman. It sounds like he's struggling to get the Yaman. And there is other student who practices for 20 minutes and just loves the sound of it, but whenever he plays, it feels like the Yaman is flowing. And I always tell my students, look at this guy, isme Raga Svarupa. You can see the Raga Svarupa in this guy, but this guy is struggling to get the Yaman. So it's not about the notes.
And it's very beautiful. I wanted to I so love it when you gave that student example, because in your own journey, these are such subtle concepts. Raga Svarupa is almost like having its own form, and it has to appear to you in a way. And it is almost like a deity, if we were to look at it.
It is like a deity.
And at what point in your own journey, in your own learning process, was there any kind of a experience or an explanation that your father, Ustad Bahauddin Dagar ji, he is the one who taught you, and you had this great opportunity to learn from him, either with him or any of the elders who have taught you. At what point and how did this experiential realization pass on to you?
So when they were teaching, they would always tell that don't learn this. Sit and see what I'm doing. Don't try to hear it also. Just see what is happening. In that space between the seeing and the hearing, you create a kind of relation to it. There's like 2 points over here, and now you're in between the two, because you're half hearing and you're half seeing it. So in the beginning you try to listen and see and see and see, and then again listen and then again see, and you create in your mind an abstract form of what the Yaman should be. Then over years of listening, you start identifying that this sounds like the Yaman. This set of notes doesn't sound like the Yaman, even though he's trying to play the Yaman. So also that can be very, I mean, if I'm thinking about it, I will think from my parampara method of thinking. Ki on all the students who are studying within the parampara will look at each other's work and say, if our Yaman is sounding like the Yaman or no, or yours is sounding like Yaman or no. Isme aaj Yaman, was there a feeling of Yaman in this, or there wasn't a feeling of Yaman in this? Then over a period of years, I think you just close your eyes and you just blindly follow what you're asked to do. And in the beginning, at points, maybe over a period of 6 months or 1 year, once in a while it reveals itself. And then you are like, okay, today to Yaman was nice. And you keep on pursuing this again and again and again. And then at certain point of time, it reveals itself more. And then now, after 30 years, I feel it's revealing itself even more. So, but I can't guarantee that the next Yaman I will play is going to be that Yaman, or is going to sound like the Yaman, or be a Yaman that I'm thinking about. But I will try, because I have a certain clearer picture now. I will try to approach that Yaman again and try to see what it is. So one thing is that there is no guarantee that you will get the Yaman. But the second thing is you always in search of it continuously. You will keep on chasing it again and again. It's just like you do your sadhana. First nothing is there. Then slowly, sometimes once in a while you feel, oh, something happened. Then again, then as it would happen, it will go away for a long time.
And it will never return.
It will never return. And you're frustrated and you're like crying and you're saying, this is not happening. I don't want to do this. Why am I doing this? So I like at a point in time, I told my uncle, like, let's burn all these Veenas. Nothing is happening. I don't want to play this instrument. I'll just sit and listen. I play Tanpura behind you. I don't want to play this because it seems impossible.
Impossible to get that back.
But the gurus would say, no, you just keep on going at it one day. Just be with it. One day you will be able to see. So I was like always, when will I be able to see? Because you have done it, you feel it's possible. But I don't see anything. I see below, then there is like a deep path below. I see above, it's like a tiny hole at the other end of the tunnel, and I will never reach there. And this every student goes through. They spend 8 years, 10 years, the same things they are playing again and again, same things we have played again and again. There's nothing new. And it's very frustrating. But if you keep the vision on focus on what Swarup you are looking for, one day you will arrive at that. So that is definitely there.
So there is so many seeds you have thrown in this explanation that I am trying to catch, where there are so many beautiful aspects. I would like to stick to what exactly you have said right now, and what reminds me as a metaphor for this is like smitten by love of flute of Sri Krishna, and he is playing in the woods. You have heard it once, and you know there is sweetness somewhere hidden in the woods. And now you are smitten by it and you are madly searching for it.
Yes.
And in the process of searching for it, you will definitely get frustrated at some point.
Yes.
And whether you want to quit or whether you want to be there and continue the quest. I think is that a way of putting...
That's it. But over the last few years, with my contact increasing with Ma, I had faith more to surrender, not to look for it.
Oh, beautiful.
So not to search for it, because it exists. Now that fact you cannot take away. But just to surrender to nothing and to be patient and see whatever happens. I think it is much easier for me to talk about it, but when to do it every time it's like a new baby step, and to be with it, and to arrive at that, I think that is the only method of arriving at it, because there is no guarantee otherwise.
And also, so to speak, the nature of this journey seems to be not one but several arrivals again and again.
Several.
That is what is like, because as you say, the Raga Svarupa keeps revealing itself.
Yeah.
It will keep revealing more and more details with a higher resolution of itself. It's one way of, I think,
Yeah,
we can
it
put it.
does, but you have to, I mean, the self has to be dissolved. I won't say you have to dissolve the self because I'm not in a capacity to do that.
Yeah.
But the self, when the self dissolves and nothing else remains, then it's very clear that suddenly that reappears in front of you.
When you say the dissolution of self, you mean the sense of agency that you can achieve it by doing.
Also that I am doing it.
I am doing it. Yeah. The kartritva bhava of that I am the doer.
I want to do it, or I'm doing it, or this is what I want to do. When you forget all that, I think then probably that it
more
reveals,
closer.
Yeah, you get much closer to that.
It's such a beautiful thing that from the space of Raga Svarupa, Raga having its own Svarupa, discovering that, and increasingly it reveals itself more you are on the path. If you are not on the path, it is not revealing.
Because I mean, we are living in the outside world so much, so many things are happening. You're interacting with so many people, and for young students to come in to think about life, how to marriage and earning money, and every time your focus is shifting here, there. So there has to be some amount of I can't find a better word than the word tyag, but I don't think even the tyag is a kind of surrender, because you can't want to tyag it, and so
I think it's a sahaj avastha. You have to be there.
Yeah, it's a sahaj avastha. You have to be there, and you have to be. My father used to say, you have to be very patient. Just be very patient, and whatever has to be given to you will be given, and whatever is not written in your fate, you will never get, no matter how hard you ask for it. So just accept what is being given to you, and just be with it for the rest of your life.
A metaphor from Upanishad that comes to me is that of the two birds on the tree, one busy eating the fruit and one which is witnessing all the time. The one busy eating the fruit is called as Kshara Purusha, the one who is partaking the rasa. It is that which is restless to get it. But I think your father was asking us to be the Akshara Purusha, the one who is patiently waiting and is not in urgency.
You're not in urgency.
And not wanting to grab it, not wanting to make it manifest. It's not operating necessarily in the restlessness of the time space.
No. In fact, I had asked my father once, just a conversation we would have, and I asked him who is a good guru and who is a good student. And he looked at me and I said, a good guru is one who doesn't want to teach, and good student is one who doesn't want to learn. And I said, how is this possible? He said, that's how it is. There has to be no anxiety of teaching, and there has to be no anxiety of learning. Then you will arrive at that thing.
It's a beautiful axiomatic reflection. When you reflected on this very mystical statement, what were your contemplations? What was coming out of this statement?
For me, I immediately sensed freedom. I became free.
Burdened and unburdened.
I absolutely became unburdened. I thought, this is it. This is what I want to do. I don't want to learn something. I want to know that why is something so beautiful and how to try and recreate that beauty. And I want to spend a life with this. That's it. I don't want to prove anything to anybody. And this was that answer for me. This is the point. Like, okay, this is what you can do with it. So you don't have to worry about making money with it, doing concerts with it, anything, or just being with it and spending time with it for the rest of your life. That's what opened up in my mind immediately. I said, this is what I want to do.
Beautiful. And I am somehow drawn to this beautiful insight about Raga Svarupa that you have given. And when you say that, and when I was inquiring, how did you understand this subtle aspect? And you said your father asked you to, or the elders asked you to see not just listen.
Not listen.
And it's very beautiful that you are, as a sadhak of this vidya of Dhrupad, you are doing the two functions at the same time. That is, there is a listening that is naturally happening because there is sound and aspect of it, the shabda, but there has to be seeing, and the liminal space between them constantly, so that you extract your own form. Understanding of your own form of that sound is very important. Is that right?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Because when I am the form is the sound basically, but the expression is the artist, what he's trying to say, and that is beyond the form sometimes. It can be beyond the form. So what is he trying to say? It is his anubhav, the Ustad's anubhav, and what he has experienced in his life is what he's narrating through that sound. So you cannot do away with the sound because you have to be in tune, and you cannot do away with the expression, otherwise you'll be dead as dull as ever. So a mixture of a balance of this and this is what gives rise to the Raga Svarupa. So he said, you see what I'm doing. Dekh rahe ho, main kya kar raha hu. Are you seeing what I'm doing? Then you say, yes, I'm seeing. Are you able to see? Because even my uncle Fariduddin Dagar Sahib would say, he says, you cannot draw a horse unless you have seen one. If a person has never seen a horse, he'll never be able to draw. So first you have to create a vision to be able to see what is happening, and then you have to dwell into it. And then the other things are technical, that you take a left turn, you take a right turn, you go from here to here, take a right, becomes Rageshri, go left, becomes Bhageshri. Those are small things that you realize. But first, you have to be able to understand that there is a Raga Swarup. And for that, the teaching method was to, like you were given the first 3 phrases of the Rag, which was called a sthai. Sthai means which, sthapit, it creates an image of the Rag. And you keep on playing these phrases again and again and again for a couple of years. It creates in your mind space about that rag and a certain way in which you can approach the rag. And then you start playing it openly. Wow. So usually one rag was taught over a period of 6 years or 7 years, unless and until you created that vision to be able to see
that rag.
Yeah, that rag. Then it was applied to everything else. He says once you have built the road, you can drive a truck, you can drive a car, you can drive a bicycle, you can run on it, but you first make your own road. And let me be with you when you're making that road. So if you go too far away, until you come slightly right. Otherwise, his teaching method was very different. He would never comment on what you did. Like if you played wrong, he would be totally quiet. And if I asked, is it okay? He would say, yeah, it's okay. And then he started doing this with other students, and I realized why. I said, you should tell him that he's wrong. He says, no, don't disturb him. Let him first go through this path up and down. After some time, when he realizes that he's wrong, when he asks, then if I tell him, then he will change it. Until that point, he will never be able to change it. So he says the guru has to be more patient than the teacher. Then he said after that, let him go on his way. And if he goes way too far, I can tell him go a little bit right or go a little bit left, come back into the, take that road. If you go, like I'm going here and they say, no, go to the other gate, you will come to the cow shed much easier. It's like that. So that he would do, because he said, like the guru is a margadarshak. He cannot create a student. He's someone who's like a GPS. He'll tell you go left, go right, 50 meters, 70 meters, take a straight like that, then circle will come. But that path we have to walk. If we don't walk that path, and if we don't, which is our abhyas and which is what we do every day, we will never be able to make it our own, and we will never have a way to talk about it or or to express it.
If we have not struggled with it.
If we have not struggled with it.
And if it has come to you too easily.
Yeah, if we have done it as and how it is being done, then there is nothing new to begin with.
Right.
There is nothing I am going to say. It's just like a Xerox machine. It doesn't do anything. The form will also not expand, and I will never know what my limitations are. It's like when you drive a racing car, you have to push the limits of the car to see if the clutch and the brake coordination and the gear coordination, they're working everything, or the tire is turning equally well or not well. So you have to be aware of all those things. But for that, you have to push yourself to the limit. So in that pushing, sometimes you go over, you fall on your nose a couple of times. But over a period of time, you start creating a certain framework which resembles the original framework. Because that idea of the original framework is already there in your mind. And you start drawing that horse all over again. And then you compare it. This horse is equal to that horse. But then this horse and that horse, there will be difference in between. The eyes are there, or the ears are there, and that will become the swabha of that horse. It will be slightly different than the other one, but it will still be a horse.
It's beautiful. And actually the whole process, there is one which is, all of this, we use a word called riyaz, isn't it? To
Riyaz,
a great extent, the riyaz is expected. If you do riyaz well, or if you do the practice well, which we call as the nitya sadhana, then you will go through this, willfully go through this process of struggling, and coming across one's own errors and trying to figure out how should I deal with it, and to have that genuine earnestness that how do I resolve this, what I have come across. I think, is that right to say that the riyaz or the practice provides this opportunity?
I think it is extremely important that you first fall in love with it. Then you approach it. If there is no love for something, then it's very difficult to maintain a relationship with that. I think first and foremost, the student should fall in love with that art form. And then the riyaz paddhati, like you are saying, part of it would be meaning physically sitting for hours, making a habit of sitting for hours. Part of it is creating your muscles to be able to play, strength in the muscles to be play that instrument. Part of it would be learning. Part of it would, a major part of it would be thinking about that work. And another big part would be about the self and how you grow as a human being and how you think about life and other things. And I think all these things would be also included in the riyaz. I mean, I would not just put it to just doing practice. I would say you would have to look at the entire way of living, how your patra, how your vessel is being shaped, and what can be contained in that vessel. Is it good or bad? And you have to keep on. And obviously, they say, I mean, for a better vessel, you require it to go through more heating process and more burning process. But I think it is not one thing. It is also being sahridaya with so many different people and things, because all the senses, the eyes, the ears, the nose, the touch, the smell, I think all these also somehow come together to put you into a perspective and to be with that work. It's very important for a student to know that everything that they're intaking is going to be a part of an experience which is going to be expressed through this work.
It's an uninterrupted connection.
It is an uninterrupted connection. But usually we just look at it as just doing practice.
Correct.
And riyaz has been tied down to just understanding the technique. But technique is one small part of it. Obviously, you have to know the technique. It's like if you have to do meditation, you should be able to sit in Padmasana or Vajrasana or whichever asana you want to sit for hours together. That is one small part of it. But then everything else has to be looked at. And
I love, it's very interesting that you have put the love as the prerequisite.
Yeah, love has to be prerequisite, because if you don't, the surrender will not come without love. Then that bhava will not have, will be there without the surrender. And then you cannot go deep.
And if you have fallen in love with something, then, and you don't want to part with it, then you are trying to figure out how to make, how and what to make of yourself so that it stays with you.
It stays with us.
I think that is the intimate.
Yeah, that is the
journey.
that journey is. I think it's very. It's very difficult. It has been extremely difficult for me to be in that journey. Because there are no parameters of what vessel I should be. Only
No
that
reference point, you mean?
there is no reference point, because that reference point of both my father and my uncle it's their vessel.
Yeah.
Only I have seen a vessel.
Yeah.
But I know that I should be a vessel.
Vessel.
But then I think unless you are in love on for the sake of being that vessel and just to contain whatever is into you, I think it takes a lot of 90% errors you go through, or 95% error maybe, and then you come to a certain point where you're probably, because you cannot hold it and you cannot leave it. So that balance to arrive it becomes very difficult. And it's still a struggle at times, because something so beautiful like a note or something or a phrase just like a brush stroke, and you want to hold it, but it's already over. And the moment you try to hold that, the next thing goes somewhere else.
Yes.
Then again you have to come back to. So it's more about, I think, living in the present than somewhere.
Beautiful. This I want to enter into a space of I don't want to use the phrase creative process, but for simple perspective, so far what you have described to me, a layman, to me it sounds is an entire internal journey, an inward journey of preparing yourself, coming face to face with the obstacles which are becoming hindrance in something emerging and manifesting in you, and in the process dedicating yourself through practice. One is practice, which is, as you said, which has set disciplines and keep repeating it. I like especially the metaphor what you said of going up and down the path. Go continuously. When you go up and down the path, then one figures out what's happening. And I think practice is somehow, in a way, that you walk up and down. In a way.
You spend time with it.
Yeah, and then there is this aspect of exploration. At what point in time practice, which has let us say a set mode of you need to do these few things, at what point in time you see the student has matured, if at all exploration can be considered as a more sophisticated evolution of practice, you would encourage student to enter into a zone of exploration, that okay, how do I because then exploration is not like going up and down, right? It is like now trying to push the envelope, trying to see what else is possible, trying to put, am I making sense in trying to figure out what is the process of exploration? At what point in time a student matures into that zone?
I think even before the student comes to learn music, he is already in this idea he wants to explore something, because he the reason he comes to a certain form to study is because he finds a kind of either he says it's very deep for him, or he says I can see so many possibilities over here, and that's one of the reasons he comes to that form. In the beginning, a couple of months we tell them just practice what is given to you. It's not that he's not exploring then also he's exploring, but we ask him to hold his exploration for some time. And then one day, after just playing these 3 phrases for over months or a year, we tell him now you play the entire alap. So then he suddenly feels like, oh, what to do? But we tell him just play whatever you feel like, because I think over that period of time something has accumulated as an experience in his mind, and he has found a kind of a relation to those notes in certain ways, and then now it's like 3 steps he knows how to go up and down. So you tell him, okay, even the 4th step is just a step, so you just go to the 4th step, go to the 5th step. How do I do it? Okay, you might arrive at it like that. If you want, you can arrive at it like that. In the further, when you go to the 8th step, you can arrive at it like that. When you go to the 15th step, you can arrive at it like this. And you just give an idea and let him be, and I think you just let him explore. Because then he starts, first he bursts out, making all the faults, and then slowly he realizes, until his vision gets formatted in a way to understand this form, and he starts creating boundaries around himself, and you help him create those tangible boundaries and tell him, see, this is good.
Field in which the experience should take place.
In a field in which the experience should take place, exactly. And so, yeah, I mean, our ustads would always tell us on the stage, don't play what I'm playing. You say whatever you have to say. If it's wrong, doesn't matter. We will correct it. It's not a big deal. You're not going to die and nobody's going to kill you. But don't stop yourself from going there and doing something. Do it. If you make a mistake, I'm standing over here. Don't worry. So he would allow us to jump into the deep waters immediately, and he would sit and watch. And like I said, sometimes you would not say anything. He says, okay, let him drown for some time. Then you will realize. And sometimes you would say, okay, drown too much, come to the shore. There is a rock over there. Hold on to that.
Right.
So because I think it is somewhere it is inborn. Everybody wants to do something which is slightly different, but is inspired by what is already happening.
Right.
So but sometimes it can happen that a certain student can go way too far and is going totally out. I don't know how it is in your thing, but
I think I was coming to this aspect of the conversation because when we are guiding somebody in the spiritual path, what happens is that one thing that is often encountered is tendency for wanting to take something what they think is advanced. Actually, that is a fiction, of the whole story of the advanced thing is in a way. But for the lack of better word, in the mantra sadhana also there is something called as krama paddhati. Krama means there is a step-by-step process. For lack of better way of expressing it, there are certain higher mantras, let's say, or the mantras which are given only after certain basic things are done. And people do the basic thing. And interestingly, the books or the shastras mention a number like small number, like do 1 lakh japa of this. That a very enthusiastic person would finish it off in 10 days, 11 days. And somebody will do it even in 6 days. And they think, okay, shastra told me this, I finished this, so I am technically ready. And what is stopping me? And so therefore they say, next, can you give me next mantra? Next, what should I do? This is the typical arc of restlessness, how it manifests.
Yeah, and even in music, it's the same.
So then when but what was beautiful in the way you put it is that it's not the quantity alone, but the time it takes to gather the necessary reference points as an experience that will allow, and you should allow some time for the formation of the field of experience. In Bhagavad Gita term, we can call it kshetra. And the kshetragna is the one who has the knowledge of the field. And the kshetragna cannot be born just like that without having the kshetra. The kshetra has to form first of all. What are its boundaries? Where is its center? And what is its topography? Where does it undulate? Where does it go plane? Where is it smooth? This level of intimate knowledge has to accumulate, and all this happens very in an unstated way. It is after that you would wish to hand over the so-called advanced mantra or the next one, because you feel that they have now the sophistication and sensitivity to handle it. Yeah. Is
that's right? Even that's why 2 rags in the beginning, Yaman and Bhairav,
are the base.
And then after 8 years, open them up to other rags which they would be convenient with in a manner. And some of the students will go astray, which is I have seen, because they don't listen to the self. They are in some mad rush of trying to achieve something. And feeling that I have achieved, like you said, I have achieved so much and I can do this and I can do that. They don't understand that it becomes a way of life to be with this, instead of some kind of a goal that you achieve and you next one. It's not. It can't be like that. But those who have stayed their time with it, they open up. In fact, one fact I will like to say here is the students who have learned the least with my father are the ones who are doing the best. Like there is Pushparaj Koshtiji, who is my father's senior student. He has learned 2 rags with my father. For a period of Yaman, he has played for 7 years only. For only 7 years, he has played Yaman continuously. And he was a performing musician. He stopped everything. He stopped doing concerts. He stopped playing anywhere. He started with the scales, right? Basic scales, and then playing that alap line for long hours. And then he used to come every Tuesday and just play that rag for some time. And my father would say, keep down the instrument. Now you can go home. And then over a period of 7 years, one day my mother and we were sitting outside and the door was closed and we heard him playing very beautifully. Suddenly something had changed. His vision about it changed. And then my father came out and he went, Pushparaji went away, and my father said, I have told this boy to go and apply for the radio audition now. And Pushparaji, we asked next day, my father, he said, I don't know this rag. My father said, no, those I will explain to you. They are just matter of understanding how to go around this rag. You are ready in a manner to do those things.
Wow.
So, this kind of process is what really makes that, that student go in the right manner. As opposed to some other students who don't make it because they're very
restless a bit.
No, they're not only restless. They are also very brilliant.
Yeah.
So brilliant is a very bad quality somewhere.
Double-edged sword.
Yes,
Yeah.
I mean they understand. So again, there were, as an example, there were these 2 students with my father, and they wanted to learn. Both of them were friends. They came together, and my father said, "Okay, I'll sing something. Both of you play." So he sang something. The first one played it immediately. The second one fumbled a couple of times, 3-4 times, and then he played it. So the one who played it immediately, my father told him, "You will take time to learn." And the other one, he said, "You will learn quicker." And then there was this third student who was thinking, "Well, Ustad, why did you say that?" He says, "Because the person who doesn't know, he will keep on going at it. The person who thinks he knows will not spend time with it. He's going to take time to understand what it is."
The depth cannot come.
Yeah, it cannot come.
Beautiful. This is something reminding me of, the Baul experience too. Baul very subtly has gradations of the songs. People think Baul is just a collective Baul Paddhati, or the Baul expression of the yogic songs is just collection of songs. But there are various tattvas that as a beginner you are not expected to touch sophisticated tattvas, because the sadhanas that you would be doing are not corresponding to have experiences that the advanced songs are.
Yeah, they are experiential. Yeah.
And but because over decades of misperception about Baul being just a folk singing or anything, a lot of talented singers pick up very advanced songs. And I used to think, oh, they are singing beautiful. What is the problem? It's beautiful. I am enjoying when they are singing and all of that. And then sometime they come in ashram here and all the goshais are sitting. And when they sing a very advanced song, this talented singer, goshais are very gently looking at each other. What's happening here? Because this song should not be sung at that time, number one, at that moment, in that way, in that form. Unless few more songs have been sung, that person should not sing in that space this song. There is so much of a sophisticated systematization in which way the song should appear in the field. And so this I am somehow correlating with what
you're right. You're right, because certain ragas were also taught much later on. When you understood the first basic rags, which had augmented and diminished notes, and then there were one in which there were some augmented, some diminished notes. And those ragas would be taught much later on, because like you said, it would require a certain amount of experience and a certain amount of work would have to be laid down before you can approach those things. Otherwise, you would never be able to deal with them in the correct manner, and probably you will say nothing through them except a bunch of notes.
Now that we have touched about, I think reasonably well in the stipulated time, about the base of preparation, what it goes into it and what are the nuances of it. I wanted to check at what point in time, as a practitioner of this Vidya, one commits oneself to a composition, that there is a clear motive, and now you are making use of all this material that has grown in you, that you have made it your own in your sadhana, and putting it for an expression, a specified expression towards devotion. Or I'm just talking simply about composition part, because and composition is so distinctly different from, so far I have been spending time walking up and down, exploring, pushing all the limits, preparing the experiences within me, but now I have to manifest it and commit to a particular composition. What is the, is it a leap forward, or is it a leap deeper? What does
I think it is a leap deeper, because to be able to compose, you will have to try out everything else first, all the pros and combinations, this and that, and then I think when you have exhausted those over a period of years, again you revisit them, then again exhaust them, revisit them, again exhaust them, and then finally you realize where those notes are standing or what those things are doing. You start picking, like you understand from a bunch of flowers which are the good ones, in which you can collect in a vase and you can put, but it doesn't have a time on it, because some people like my ustads, they were ustads at the age of 17, so they were already looking at things in a different light. So sometimes it's like a blessing,
right?
But for someone like us, it just takes 20 years, 30 years to even get somewhere and to start composing. There is no time limit, but once that clarity comes of what this is, and when you are able to let go, and I think you arrive at a place where things start happening on their own, where you can add a few things and let things happen, and then add a few things and let most of the things happen. So that's how you start composing, because it's like already 3 colors are being put, and now you put a color which will create a kind of a resonance with it, and then other 3 colors are being put, and again you put a color, so
it's like adding depth.
Yeah, it's little bit, yeah. But for us, our ustads did it continuously all the time. Like every phrase, every note, every strike was like it was composed, and yet it was not fixed.
So there could be like many movements of composition.
Yes.
But they didn't extract it out and say that now this is a composition.
No.
So that happens all the time in the process.
Yeah, that happens all the time, because every time you approach it, last time we said, I have played this like this, now this I'm going to look at this aspect of this. So because you begin in a certain manner, then your path happens to go in a certain manner, and you end in a certain manner. The beginning decides the end. Every time you come to the rag, the beginning will decide the end. If I begin in a different manner, the entire trajectory will go in a different manner.
Forgive me if this is a shallow question, but for lack of my understanding, can I say that the frequency with which the compositions appear in other forms other than Dhrupad is way higher than the number of compositions which are committed to in Dhrupad, because I think Dhrupad is more and more in the vast and exploratory space.
No, I think it depends on the person.
Okay.
Who's approaching the art and how he understands the art. There can be a lot more compositions in a person who's singing a folk song, because just the way he is able to see clearly. I think it becomes a very personal thing. Who will be able to open that knot in a particular manner, so that becomes a knot of infinity for him.
Because there is this entire creative process which is also very theoretically put in from the Shastras, especially let's say Kashmir Shaiva Siddhanta also says that in other Shastric terms it is gross, the gross expression of a composition or a creative aspect. Then there is subtle, then there is causal. Causal is the place from where the inspiration emerged into the emerged forward into the birth. In that, similarly in the tantric terms, we would call this paravak, and then you have pashyanti, and then you have madhyama, then final expression, giving it completely the expression including speaking out or singing is vaikhari. So there is this entire journey. So this journey for a poet, let's say, or a visual artist, it is fairly clear, that I have this inspiration, and inspiration came from a space we don't know. It came, you just received it. That is a state of, paravak, one would call it. Then there is a appearance of that inspiration. It's almost like the liminal space of the Raga Svarupa that you said, where what one can call as, like Sri Aurobindo would call it, pashyanti buddhi, that is seeing intelligence. There is intelligence in seeing. And there the glimmer of the formations in the form is appearing, and the idea, and then at Madhyama more and more detailing comes, and though reluctantly this composer or the creator is finally putting it to the commitment, to the paper or to the board or to the vision. If the composition were to be taken out of the experience of the sound and the practice of the sound, the way in the Dhrupad way, how would these stages be experienced by a practitioner? How
I mean, I don't think there is. I mean, I feel the form doesn't have a limit. The person has a limit. So it's it's how you approach it. Then you will go from one to another to a third. And sometimes, in spite of knowing, also you can still not reach there. So I don't know if I'm saying it correctly.
I think even if it is in between it, and I think you are expressing exactly what you're seeing, and I'm trying to get at how would it be possible to commit to a composition, because it has a clear cut, like you have composed something and I come and receive that composition, there is a clear entry and end point. Okay, this is what is the form, and I might add my variations to it. But in the creative space, how would, at what point in time somebody who has been practicing and doing this exploration is arriving at a point that now this idea is there. But I think you have already touched about it, and many ustads at very young age have done it, and then many have waited for.
I think I think it's just about a clarity of knowing that form. Once you're able to see it, then you'll be able to compose new things. You keep on saying. It's as simple as I feel like maintaining a conversation. Our conversation can go for 10 minutes, and it can go for 2 hours, and it would begin and it would end, but not necessarily it would have a beginning and end. And I think it depends on what is being said at that time. That will give birth to whether next. How
the next is following,
whether it will retain its form or no. Sometimes you say close phrases, and then the thing will end over there.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So especially what you're talking, I had experience in a way in the terms of Jugalbandi when I played with Pushparaj ji. Like when he says something, he always leaves an open-ended phrase. So I can pick up from there, and then when I have to say something, I have to leave it open-ended. Otherwise, sometimes you say closed phrases, then
it's done.
Then the next person cannot say anything.
Take it up.
Then you have to take the next note. So how do you arrive at it? And I've not charted that path, but I know that it exists, and when it's there, it's there. Otherwise, and it's there when in two people is there when the minds think in the same wavelength, in a manner, or receive the same kind of things, or believe in the same kind of things. Like if two people believe in the same paddhati of practice, then their minds will open up to a much more possibility. Then I will go back and rethink on what he said, and then start working on it, and then try to compose new things. So it's probably relative in a way. I mean,
depends on person, as you said.
It depends on
in,
depends
the
on
moment.
person. I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, but that's
Yeah.
have I understood?
No, I think it boils down to, if I were to simply put it the way I have grasped this, is that not everybody has the same drive for giving it a definitive form as the word composition is popularly known in a way. And I think the most beautiful thing that I take away from this is when you said that for somebody who has immersed themselves in the service of this vidya and has remained with this love all through the life, there are countless moments of compositions.
Yeah, there will be countless.
Countless.
Yeah.
So many times this would
because
happen.
One thing that even the Ustad used to say, that the music will stay alive as long as the ascharya keeps on happening. The time the ascharya stops, the music is dead. There is nothing to say.
Beautiful.
So every phrase, as long as the ascharya you can keep on recreating the ascharya in a certain manner. I don't know how much control you have to recreate that ascharya, but as long as that ascharya keeps on unfolding itself and revealing itself, it will stay alive, and it will keep on recomposing, remaking the phrases again, in a way composing something else, and it will keep on moving either front or back. Otherwise, it will become stagnant.
Beautiful. Now this takes me to the trajectory from composition, from practice, exploration, composition, to the aspect of performance. What does it entail? When does this become performance?
For me personally, it never becomes a performance. The reason I did this art is because it set me free from the idea of performing knowledge, knowing something, gaining something, doing something with it. The first things our Ustad taught us is to fall in love with this and to show us that how beautiful this is. Just see how, you should say, kitna sundar hai dekho beta.
How to appreciate.
Haan, kitna sundar hai dekho. See how this bihag, see how both the madhyams are being played, see how beautifully they are placed. He says, this is the only reason why I should do it, because it's beautiful. So, and then I asked him, then what do you do in a performance? He says, what will you do in a performance? You'll do exactly what you know. You're not God that you're going to recreate something new. So, why should there be a difference between when you're sitting over here with the veena in your hand, or you're sitting in the on the stage? You have to be equally involved and sincere to what you're doing. Whenever you hold a veena, just be sincere to what is happening with the sound and whatever you need to do. So don't worry about the performance, because sometimes you go and you play, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. The same thing can happen in the house. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, and that is a way of life. He says only at home you can revisit the fault and correct it. In the concert you have to keep on moving ahead. It's like you move from your house and you go outside, and then a black cat crosses your road. Will you come back home? I said, no, I'll move her. They say, exactly, you just have to do that. Live with it, don't worry about it. So that performatory aspect was in a kind of way, dissolved in a manner ki not too important.
You've been freed of that.
Yeah, but it is important in a sense, because it's like a watertight situation. You're going to say something, and also it's an experience, because it's something like a saharidaya, which Abhinav Gupta talks about. So you go and everybody's experiencing why they are liking your music. It's not that they are understanding your music, or some very few are understanding, rest are just, but why is that saharidaya happening? And that for that experience you go and you come back. That's all with the performance.
So as because it is a very special moment to be seated in front of a group of people, big or small, to put it in a simple terms, does their immersion or attentiveness is felt by you, or you are in your own moment of doing what you're doing?
It depends. I mean, if there are 2 or 3 students of my father who have learned very deeply with him, then when I say something, I do look at them, and if something is happens to be said beautifully, I do look at them and we share that happiness of that moment being beautiful. If there are my students and something happens beautifully, then I look at them and I say, see, this is how it should be, and it is being played like that. Not like I'm playing it, but it is like this is happening. You see, do you understand what's happening over here? And then we nod ahead. Apart from that, I would just pay attention to what I'm doing at that time. Because if I lose focus of what I'm doing, then it's going to go helter-skelter. Because strict awareness of that now moment over there. Every time you touch the string, you strike the string, or you put a note, or you maybe just show the abhas of a note, you just skip a note. I think you have to be very mentally, you have to be there, and you have to create a distance from that art form, because the entire picture of the rose is when you can smell it and see it. So if you put it next to your nose like this, then you cannot see it totally. So that touch,
the distance has to be exact where you can do both.
You can touch it, you can see it, and you can smell it. So that you have to try to calibrate that kind of a distance when you're working with your work.
It's beautiful to arrive at finding what could be possibly the optimal distance.
Yeah. I mean, that is every time you are trying it. So it's a beautiful exercise in itself. I mean, it's not about making mistakes or anything, but it's when you arrive at it, it's beautiful. I mean, then nothing else exists at that time. Nothing, no sound exists, or even the sound becomes like a silent. It just becomes like a and something happens that time. It's like everything comes together at that point, and then it moves away.
Beautiful. This aspect I wanted to bring across is we had an opportunity, such a rare opportunity, to witness you and Parvati Ma come together in Rudra Yogini. And even before you both played on the stage, and you both gave me an opportunity to sit and recite something with you on the stage. But here, when we were rehearsing for the first time, I know the journey is 10-year journey, that you both just initiated something, probably talked about it several times over the years, tried few songs together, tried doing some recording, and then it just something happened. And in a very unassuming way, finally, like, you both came together and presented that 2-hour-long beautiful offering of the sound. And one is the ancient Charyagiti of Sahaja Siddhacharyas and Rudra Veena coming together. For a listener, for us, it was like we were as if sucked into a meditative zone. It's like we just went into it. And what was your reflection? What's your experience of this? And
I mean, she taught me how to surrender, first thing. And then I surrendered to her also. But one difficulty was always there, because I thought I was playing too much. And many times when she was singing, I forgot to play. Because I was scared to play more, because it was already so complete and beautiful in itself that I didn't want to destroy what was happening. But I think some people whom I knew saw that video, and some people who matter to me, and I didn't show them the video because I didn't want to take a bad feedback on it. I was very scared because both of us, Ma is coming from such a strong tradition, I'm coming from a different tradition, and if you mix, it's like oil and water cannot mix. But if over a period of years, I have seen, if there are two musicians who have done their work well, they will play good music, but not necessarily it will mix. It can, it becomes really bad. It's like having Chinese cheese dosa or something. But I was very afraid of that. And I think Ma realizes that should not happen. So I think we kind of arrived at a place where I did let go of everything, and I said, okay, just be with it, and whatever happens. And it was that entire concert went like that. Within a few seconds. Before I knew, it was over. Yeah, and I didn't know how to react to it. Really, I really don't know. But I just felt very nice just sitting over there and being with her and being able to play a few things here and there. Yeah, I mean, it was a blessing. But for 9 years, I think I was churning in my stomach because I knew nothing was happening. And Ma also knew that nothing was happening at my end. So we were trying to, I think she was very patient with it. So finally I got to be with her.
Beautiful. We reached a very good point, I feel, in the conversation. But it would be incomplete without your reflection and contemplation on Rudra Veena herself. What is the, I mean, how beautiful is this instrument and the sound? How does it stand out? Now, technically there would be many things, but for you, because I remember one of the most beautiful stories or the experience that I have heard is when Ma was initiated into the Baul path, when she was given the Diksha, after several years of walking the initial stages. Sanatan Baba said to her that now your life will be guided, decided by this Ektara in your hand. And he named her Bina Das, be the servant of this Ektara. And he said, where you will go, whom you will meet, what you will eat, everything will be decided by her. And this is the Svarupa. It's not just the yantra anymore, but the one who is leading your life, literally, whose sound is what has filled up your being and every speck of your being. And it would be difficult to differentiate you and her, the Rudra Veena, where she ends, where you begin, and where you end, where she begins. That's sort of a fusion because you have always held it. What does this mean? What is it?
Similarly for me, I obviously heard my father play and my uncle sing, and when I realized I wanted to do this music, I asked my father, what should I do? Should I sing? Should I dance? Should I play an instrument, accompanying instrument? Should I play sitar, surbhar? He said, you play the veena. So I never really chose to play the veena, but I thought here is a person in front of me who understands what kind of an idiot I am, and he knows my limitations, and he tells me something to do. I should just follow that path. So I just accepted that instrument. Over the years, I realized that this is not my instrument. It is given to me for a period of time to spend and to understand something greater. One part of it is the music. And over some more time, I realized this instrument is like a devi. It is like it's like a being. I cannot call it, and I cannot command it. I can just, if there is anubhuti, I can be with it, and I'm extremely grateful that this instrument has come into my life. And I clearly remember my father saying, on his deathbed, when he was few seconds before passing away, he said that I had such great fortune in my life that this instrument has been given to me, and it has changed through these hands, and it has given me great amount of pleasure, and it has given me everything. This has been my life. It has led my life. So I find it also, this instrument leading my life. Whatever people know me or whatever they identify me is because of this instrument. And he told me one thing. He says, everything else in your life will come and go, but this is permanent with you. Remember that. This is not going to go anywhere. And I firmly believed in that. Ki even not knowing that it is, I didn't have the experience to know that it is true, but I always believed that this instrument will stay till the point that where I will have to go, and this instrument will have to be passed on to somebody else. The music will stay, and the instrument will stay, and the human being will be impermanent around it.
Beautiful. And at any point when you play this instrument, is there abhas or an realization or an experience that comes into you that motivates you or impels you in a different way, by realizing that there are so many centuries of masters, over the centuries have played this, and it is the same sound. It is something of that is continuing even now.
I feel the Veena itself has a very primordial kind of a sound. I feel that, and I feel it's like the thin thread that has created a link over the centuries. Sometimes with the Veena you suddenly get transported and you feel you are sitting in 14th century and the light changes. I remember once my father, while playing, he said, "Kitni purani sada wapis aa rahi hai." It's such an old feeling that is being relived again. And I'm sure he was talking about generations ago. And I think for every Veena player, whoever I met, even Asad Ali Khan Sahab or anybody else, they have had that experience with the Veena where they have felt that suddenly they got transported back in time, and the time became like a timeless thing, outstretched, and it was neither today nor was it yesterday. And that happens with the Veena sometimes. You get transported into different time and different space. Momentarily though, I mean whatever, but
thanks a lot, Ustad Ji, for transporting us into a different time and space. It's beautiful.
My experience is limited, and if I have said something wrong, please forgive me. I can only talk from what I know, and I might have made mistakes. I'm sorry for that.
Joy Guru. Thanks
Joy
a lot
Guru.
for sharing your wisdom with us, Joy Guru.